not drama and, you know,
Rick Weinhofer will be late, Ron Stanko, and Bill James.
Here. Next time it's public comment, is there any public comment? Hearing none. Item 4, police department hiring.
because of a vacancy now within the police department, I'm asking for a motion for council to either table, approve, or deny the hiring of the next individual on our list. That is candidate number 23. This individual is actually a police officer here within Berks County. I have spoken with him, and he has a desire to still come over and join our department. With him, under Title 53, because he's only been a police officer for a short amount of time, we're going to owe some monies to his agency that he works for. This is something that we've done in the past, Reading, in the recent past, when we hired a few of their officers that have been there for a short period of time. That number, I just got it texted to me, is under $4,000. I know that. So it's not very significant amount of money. So I am asking for that motion so that it gets moved on to council. I know, they've given me the number, I know it's under 4,000.
Saves us the cost of training, saves us the cost of having someone out during training, saves us the time of somebody being away. So whatever it costs, I would not put that on.
Well, I would suggest that there should be a cap in order to ensure that figure that just within the budget up front. We can make it 10,000.
Then I would accept 10,000. Doesn't matter.
The ordinance says.
There is no ordinance.
Well,
It-
I'm saying-
Title 53 is a state law.
We need to have finite expenses.
So let me ask, this CPC has been there on the sheet, has been there short enough window of time that the other municipality road has funded their training and long enough.
That's correct.
They're
They're going to be,
okay.
Title 53 talks of 2 years, they're there under 2 years.
Okay.
Second.
I don't know.
He gets reinstated, he gets out free one, or what happens to the guy we hired now, because based on who's the guy who replaced him.
I can't go by that. I don't know when that could even be. I need to think about now and filling the department now. There's no guarantee that that officer or former officer is going to be coming back. I don't want to wait until that is settled. And that's something that I would work with this body and council at the time. If he has to come back, then work with us.
Now we anticipate us not keeping the employee that may just recommend hiring, but it is the fact that the new hire is good enough to make sure.
No, I understand that, I'm just saying that you don't need two, if you don't state the guy is fired. So, there's an officer without, basically, lost it. I'm okay with the letter.
We'll cross the bridge when we get there. Yeah. We'll cross the bridge when we get there. Could be huge.
I mean, just, I do know, I mean, I'll speak for myself, but I think I'm speaking for the lieutenant as well. Before this year is out, we're putting on our job paperwork for the borough, so our time is
Yes, following up to the last conversation, we had at a special council meeting about the job description. I pulled Spring Township, Coomer Township, and Muhlenberg Township's job descriptions that they have for their fire chief positions, compared them to ours. The only two recommendations I'm making to revise our job description, hi Rick, are, I'm trying to scroll to the take out fire officer 4 certification. I would suggest it more as a preferred but not required. In speaking to several chiefs throughout the county, many of them only have fire officer 3 and feel that while fire officer 4 is obviously a higher level of certification and accreditation, it's not necessary to be a good chief. The other recommendation I'm making to change the job description is the 10-year progressive responsible experience. I would suggest lowering that to 5 to 8 years based off of what I've seen in other job descriptions. And if the committee is okay with those two changes, I would request approval to make the revisions immediately, have it ratified at the September council meeting so I can get the advertisement out as soon as possible.
Is there a reason why we say, level 3 is required?
I was going to change it to fire officer 3.
I'll make that motion. Okay, motion second for discussion. Hearing none. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Number 6, college degree pay, I guess it's you again.
Yes, I received a letter from Chris Sam, who's the police systems analyst. Chris is considered an administrative employee as he's not part of the collective bargaining agreement for the police department. Chris was making, in my opinion, a very good point, which is that as part of last year's negotiations for the police contract, they successfully negotiated raising their annual credit received from the borough from, I think they were even above 400, but up to $1,000 annually for a bachelor's degree and 1,500 for a master's degree. In Chris's case, he holds 2 bachelors. So, Phyllis and I often joke as contracts are passed, what makes one employee's something more special than another employee's, whether it's bereavement days or payment for some certification. So the request is to consider for administrative employees increasing the amount for a bachelor's degree from 400 to 1,000 and from 650 to 1,500 for a master's degree to match the language of the current CBA. And the total additional annual cost to the borough would be $2,650.
Admin employees kind of mirrors the CBAs for rate, not raises, but
We tried to, not,
remember in the past.
I mean, typically as contracts are negotiated and changed a contract comes up for renewal every year, but typically contracts are 3 years long. So as those contracts change over time, typically requests are brought to this committee and council for the 8 to 10, depending on how many department heads we have at a time, employees that are not covered by a collective bargaining agreement.
Do we have, any of the other CBAs have similar language?
It's in the employee handbook. Yeah, so whether it's in their CBA or not, if they provide proof of a degree, we pay them.
So
Having
we're trying to mirror the police department at this point in time, do any of the other collective bargaining agreements have their annual allocation at 1,500?
no, I mean, for what it's worth, I just got the public works contract requests. We start negotiations next week, and they're not asking for an increase.
Anything else? All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None? Executive session?
Yes.
This time we'll call off that executive session, we ask all on related personnel.
Personnel matters related to the police department. No. Gotta need to go back into the public to adjourn. For a recording, you can officially.